back the Martin Mars bomber because bigger is better. Right? Right? Has to be right. No, not right. Here's why. Let's talk about the Martin Mars bomber first, though. What is the Martin Mars bomber? The Martin JRM Mars, from Wikipedia. The Martin JRM Mars is a large 4-engine cargo transport flying boat designed and built by Martin Company for the United States Navy during World War II. It was the largest Allied flying boat to enter production, though 7 only were built. The United States Navy contracted the development of the XPB-2M-1 Mars in 1938 as a long-range ocean patrol flying boat, which later entered production as the JRM Mars long-range transport. 4 of the surviving aircraft were converted for civilian use to firefighting water bombers. 2 of those aircraft remain based at Sproat Lake, just outside of Port Alberni. Neither are operational. Made in the United States by the Glenn L. Martin Company, first flight was in the 23rd of June, 1942. Its introduction for service was the 30th of November, 1943. It was retired officially by the U.S. Navy in 1956. Primary users were the United States Navy and Colson Flying Tankers Incorporated. They were produced between 1945 and 48, and 7 were built. It's generally crewed with 4 people, with accommodations for a second relief crew. Water foam load for the Mars water bomber, 60,000 pounds. That's 27,000 kilograms. It's a lot. Length, 117 feet, 3 inches. Wingspan, 200 feet. Width, 13 feet, 6 inches. Height, 38 feet, 5 inches. Hull draft, 5 feet, 6 inches. Wing area, 3,686 square feet. Maximum takeoff weight, 165,000 pounds. Its performance, though, would be the issue. Top speed is 356 kilometers an hour. Not very fast. Cruises around 310. Its range, though, is quite large, 8,000 kilometers. It might take you all year to get there, though. Service ceiling, 14,600 feet. Its drop speed, about 222 kilometers an hour when it drops its water. Landing approach speed, 185 kilometers. Touchdown speed, 92 miles an hour. Fuel consumption, 420 U.S. gallons per hour. Fuel consumption operation, 780 U.S. gallons during operations. Operations duration is usually 5.5 hours. Area covered in a single drop, 3 to 4 acres. So pretty large. Drop height, 150 to 200 feet. Full water tank load is 7,200 U.S. gallons. That's 27,000 liters. So it does carry a lot. Lot is better, right? You think lot is better, but I mean, before we even talk about the aircraft itself, the fact that you can't find parts for it anymore, the fact that it's out of service, it's old, it's ancient, it doesn't really belong in the sky anymore. It's a safety concern to have flying over firefighters, but it's a safety concern for other reasons too. With the amount of volume of water that it drops, it's not necessarily a good thing because when that water comes down, it creates air pressure, which blasts out. Sometimes large dumps of water actually gets what gets hit by the water goes out, but what is on the outside actually gets wind effect and sometimes stokes those fires up further. Also, the Mars bomber has been known, because of the extreme heaviness of its loads, to smash trees and all kinds of stuff. So it's a danger to have flying over top. Of course, the other problem is you can't get parts for this aircraft anymore. They just don't exist. So to keep these aircraft operational, that's going to be an extra challenge. And even Colson himself says the planes are no longer viable options to be used in the aircraft in wildfire fighting. However, people still have this idea that it's the BC government that shut down Colson. Maybe they don't like Colson, or maybe they just want BC to burn. But I mean, take a look at it this way. When you have an aircraft that flies at 350 kilometers an hour, very slow, say there's a fire here in Wells. Now, maybe the closest place they could get water would be perhaps Isaac Lake, or maybe Lanese Lake, maybe Quesnel Lake. Those are substantial flights to get to those places. So you have this aircraft take 2 hours to do a turnaround to get its water. It gets here, it does its drop, it misses with its drop, because that happens frequently, and suddenly you got no air cover for 2 hours while the aircraft's going back to get more water, right? So when you have a CL-415 or an Air Tractor or some of these smaller aircraft, you could look up this video on YouTube. Saskatchewan rednecks get hit by water bomber. In about 11 minutes, the CL-415 is able to go jump in the lake and hit the target 3 times with precision and success.
Are they coming back? There's the fire. That's what's left of it.
Again. Oh! No, he got it!
He's coming. There he is.
So let's discuss the combat effectiveness of that CL-415 in that video, Saskatchewan party animals hit by water bombers. Now what happens in that video is, it's an 11-minute long video. Before the video starts, the first drop happens. It comes in with retardant loaded and drops it on the cabins to protect all the structures. It goes, takes a drink in the lake, does a second attack run, and hits the property again so that the area is wet and the fire will have difficulty spreading in that direction if it chooses to spread. On the third attack drop, it comes in, hits the fire directly, and ground crews are right there and able to go and finish the job. The difference being that if you had a Martin Mars there, A, that lake wouldn't be big enough for it. B, if it missed its drop, C, it could kill anybody if it hit. You know, those people got hit by the water bomber in that video and survived just fine. 27,000 liters coming down on you from the sky, that will flatten you. It will flatten trees. It could create wind that may actually feed the fire and not even help it. Not safe for ground crews to be working around aircraft of that kind while in close support. You have to understand that fires are not defeated by aircraft. They are defeated by people on the ground. It's us on the ground who use the boots and use our muscles and use our noses and eyes and ears to sniff out hot spots underground, in trees, places that they're hiding so that those zombie fires don't come back again. Just dropping water from the sky, all it can possibly hope to achieve is to cool the area down enough for firefighters to get in there and ground crews to make effective attacks. When a real firefight gets underway and there's too many aircraft in the skies, it can be a real problem having everyone safely come and go. There's generally very little air traffic control except for what the bird dog is saying or incident commander. So a lot of times pilots in these situations have to be very on the ball, and if there's lots of helicopters, lots of other aircraft, just putting more aircraft in the scene is not necessarily the safest, best option. In its day, the Martin Mars was an amazing aircraft. Beautiful. It's still beautiful to look at, but it's obsolete. It is no longer an effective combat machine for fighting fires in British Columbia or anywhere else. The aircraft isn't shut down by the British Columbia government. The aircraft was shut down by Coulson Aviation themselves. They now operate 737s, C-130s, all kinds of aircraft that are better capable for maintaining the fight, for close support, and with modern avionics, modern communication abilities, modern equipment, parts that are available, much faster, able to go to any lake, able to be, I mean, honestly, watch that CL-415 in combat. The biggest question shouldn't be, why is the Martin Mars bomber not in the air? The question should be, why is British Columbia not buying an aircraft made in this country that is the most effective combat aircraft in the world when it comes to fighting fire? So a beautiful ship she may be, and has done her part to help British Columbia lots of times in the past with the new kinds of fires we're fighting and the new way we're deploying. She doesn't have much use. She's a relic. She belongs as a museum, and I'm sure that will be the fate someday. As beautiful aircraft, they should be put up in a museum somewhere and should be respected and honored for the contributions they've made to British Columbia, but that should not be confused with the fact that they may be effective aircraft, because they are no longer that. So it looks like on Saturday I'll be out in the field and being crew boss of a crew and starting to make some pretty good money again. I've been waiting a long time to get out and battle. The last few months I have had pretty much no income while I've worked almost full time on Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, watching the weather, making reports, making videos. If you want to support what I'm doing and help me get through these low times, help us have more equipment, more money for gas to put in vehicles so we can go chase storms and chase fires, then please support us on Patreon. The link is in the description below. All right, friends, we'll see you next time.